Good evening, one and all. Welcome to the Mental Health Webinar Series 2020 and 2021. Today we are in 493 session. Still 7 more sessions to reach the 500. Today we are going to see the topic Doubt Your Self-Doubt by the resource person Dr. Subhasri Vanamalli ma'am. She is the one of the main important pillar of the core team. She is the leader for the core team member as well. And all we know about Dr. Subhasri ma'am, even though for the newcomers, I would like to give some introduction about the Dr. Subhasri Vanamalli ma'am. She is right now head of the department, PG Department Psychology, Madras School of Social Work, Chennai. She is in teaching for 15 years and UG and PG level, and she is research in 10 years in national level. She is in training for 10 years national level, doing counseling for 12 years state level. She organized more than 150 state and national level trainings, and she is the resource person for the training more than 650 in state, national, international level, skill trainings, workshops, psychoeducation, faculty, all those things. Her training areas in life skills, career planning, counseling skills, employability skills, personality development, emotional intelligence, interpersonal relations building, mental health, parenting, motivation, marketing, and positive psychology. This kind note, I would like to once again invite today's resource person, all the participants, on behalf of American College Madurai, MS Chellamuthi Institute Madurai, Madras School of Social Work Chennai, Red Pond Educational Psychological Research Center, Yellow Pond Counseling Center, and Tamil Nadu Career Counseling Association, and Tamil Nadu Counseling Psychotherapy Association. Just I want to add one more thing. Dr. Swasri ma'am is the president for the Tamil Nadu Career Counseling Association, Tamil Nadu. This kind note, I would like to welcome ma'am. Over to you, ma'am. You can take over the session.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sully, for the introduction. And thank you so much for all the participants who have been traveling with us throughout this mental health webinar series. I'm really happy to be with you all today with the topic on doubt, your self-doubt. The moment we have been I was formulating and I sent the flyer, and many of them are really happy about the topic. So everybody really wanted to know about what is it, and it's really interesting to know about these, how to conquer our self-doubt. So this is the major important aspect that everybody is going through in life, whether it's a child or an adolescent or an young adult or even an adult, and who is in middle age, or also with the, when it comes to ages also, people have experience of the self-doubt in many of the ventures. So I thought it would be a very useful tips, and it's going to be literally practical based on experiences, and also a lot of cases I will be sharing with you. And this really works, and if you really follow with a lot of conviction, that's a major important aspect I would like to tell you. The disclaimer is, of course, there is a workbook and which has been followed and which has been taken material, but the content which I'm going to talk from my experience and what I have actually gone through, though the experience is very limited, but of course it can really translate what is the intention behind the title, what I'm giving. Very happy to know this topic, that is self-doubt, is something which is bothering all of us, isn't it? So just let us explore. In the point of 1 to 10, could you please quickly rank yourself or mark yourself with this particular questions 1 to 10? Can you just do that so that we can proceed with that? You keep your thoughts to yourself, assuming you don't have anything important to share. 1 to 10, you can answer. You need not share it or you need not disclose it. You just keep it for yourself. If you are not completely sure, you can do something. Do you think, why bother trying? Have you ever experienced like that? Mark it according to your experience. Do you avoid talking to people, worrying that you will have nothing to say or come across as, it may be sometimes awkward? Whatever may be, based on your experience, you can mark it. Do you second guess yourself frequently? Am I right? Is that I can go ahead? Is that I can talk? Is that am I going in the right track, like that?
Sorry for interruption. Can you play to the play mode of the presentation?
You mean to say that is an slideshow?
Slideshow will be better.
Yeah.
Otherwise, let us have very
If
small.
if I do that, it doesn't move. Some issues. Okay, let me try. Is it clear now?
Yeah. it's
Yes, ma'am.
better.
Now it's okay, ma'am.
Okay, do you have second guess yourself frequently? Fourth one I asked. The fifth one is, do you apologize excessively even when you haven't done anything wrong? You know that you have not done anything wrong, but still you keep apologizing. Please, sorry, forgive me, kind of. Do you give up easily? Give up means it may be for any act or with any relationship or any kind of a deed. You are venturing it and you don't actually get it go, that you give up, like that. Seventh one, do you hold yourself back from taking risks because you are afraid that you will fail? So there will be a kind of an anxiousness that if I go and take this risk, if I am going to fail, what will happen? That is bothering me, so I take accordingly. So that is the seventh one. In a mark of 1 to 10, you can actually rank yourself in all these aspects. Does your inner voice tell you, I'm not good enough, I cannot do it? Is it frequently? If it is so, how frequently? When you feel you didn't perform well, do you spend lots of time afterward ruminating that your mistake, whatever you have done? Ruminating means how the cow is doing after chewing the food again, which is being swallowed, no? That. And then do you avoid pursuing some of your goals and dreams because of your fear? The fear of, fear of yourself, or it's very, very essential for you to understand why you are doing this exercise. So let it be, you mark yourself and then keep it for yourself. You need not explore. If you have found yourself in a very, if it is more than 5 in most of the cases, kindly check how many you have got more than 5. Then you have to really work on this, because the self-confidence is linked almost everything you want in life. Whether you call it as a social relationship, or it is for your self-development and personal growth, or if it is going to be for your mind and being in a mindful practice, or increasing your knowledge and being present, in the moment and being knowledgeable, and your body, maintaining your body, helping your body to be fit, all that, and emotions, especially being emotionally related to the other person or recognizing your emotions and also able to express your emotions, all these by the connections of all these components, the mind, body, and also the soul, all these require the confidence of expressing oneself. Aware, express, and also experience. This is a very essential aspect of life. If you really wanted to touch all these areas with the confidence, you need to train yourself. And it may be an issue for some people. It is not in the case of every aspect. Someone will have the problem with related to social anxiety alone. Someone will have only the problem with dealing emotions, and someone will be very lazy in maintaining their physical, appearance or physical fitness. Or someone will be, dwelling upon the mind and that is thought control, all that. But each one influence each thing, you all know that. So in a holistic purpose, perspective, if you talk that, you need to be aligned with your mind, body, and soul with a lot of confidence. And this confidence doesn't come from outside. It is actually from your inside. It is actually your inner sense of control and your inner sense of being one in, and what I know is enough, and kind of a feel that is required to be explicitly seen by others. So that is what is the confidence. And we have a lot of myth about the confidence, isn't it? So only the extroverts are having confidence. It doesn't mean that all extroverts are confident. Extroverts are easily go and mingle with people. It doesn't mean they are highly confident. Okay. There are a lot of shortcomings for extroverts also. It doesn't mean all the introverts are not confident. There are beautiful introvert people are able to pursue their goal and succeed in their life. So that means it is not based on the personality you possess. It is all your will to change yourself, will to set your attitude and keep working on with the skill base. So the skill becomes a competence, then you feel that you are actually coming out of the anxiety and the fear. So with this note, I have certain kind of an platform, how it is important for all of us in all arena of your life. You wanted to strike a balance, you wanted to strike an equilibrium, isn't it? So if you see that you are working excellently and you are not being recognized as a person at family, you feel you have not achieved anything. If everybody is appreciating, if your wife is not showing a good recognition or a compliment, it really hurts you, isn't it? In the same case for your wife also. If everybody in the world is appreciating, but the spouse is not recognizing, that matters a lot. The same thing, if you give the key of confidence in somebody's hand, it is always hanging on the keychain. We never knew that when somebody will hold it, isn't it? So it is always good to hold the position of ourselves. That is the generating that energy of boosting confidence in our own self by our own self. It is rather than somebody else. So when you take in all arena, that is a personal or a social, whether it is career or happiness, whatever you call it. If you say that personal life has to be good, for what if I ask, people will say that I should have a happy life. I should lead a happy life. That's all ultimately they will end up. Then if you ask them, what about your social life? If it is good, what will happen? If my social life is good, I will feel that I'm fulfilled and I'm satisfied and I'm happy about it. And then what is about your career? If my career growth is good and career development is good and career life is satisfied and feel happy. So everything end up with the happiness, isn't it? If you see that what is the one important aspect which could be contributing for this happiness, if you have the self-compassion, if you hold the self-worth in your hand, if you are confident about yourself and you don't play the game of self-doubt. This is a major important research has been done over the I think it is more than 50 decades people have been doing. The moment I have seen this the self-esteem tool of Rosenbach, I used to wonder, but just by 10 items he has identified the self-esteem. And if you really see that the self-esteem tool is the most used tool in the research field, all really wanted to. And once I was talking to the doctor, psychiatrist Srinivasan, he was mentioning it's very important to boost the self-esteem of the kids in the early years. And then optimism, resilience, these are the major contributing factors for the personality development. And these are the major contributing factors for their well-being, psychological well-being. So in that case, if you really align to this personal, social, career, ultimately contributing to happiness, you require that automatic boost or a generating, like an it should be, generate from within. The confidence has to, come within. That's a reason I'm going to talk much on this. So most of us are having a kind of an inner voice within us, isn't it? I'm not attractive enough. I'm not interesting enough. If I talk something, I'm not fun enough. I'm not actually attracting the opposite sex. If an adolescent girl, she will say that I don't have a kind of a long hair. I don't have a beautiful features. I don't have an attractive features. I'm feeling I'm not worth. So they position their confidence only in their body. The body image is a major issue for them. When you talk about a man, when you talk about a boy, I'm not attractive to a girl. If it's an adolescent age, usually it comes with a lot of people with how they are, working on that particular age on their self-worth is very important. I'm not enjoying life. If you ask a middle-aged man, most of them will say now, I have been into this profession, I have been going every day, I'm living my life, I'm just surviving. I don't actually enjoy, You can come across many people say this statement. That means they are not having a joyful life either at work or at this. I don't know what is it about, but they are not comfortable. They have a self-doubt about their own, existence. This is a very essential aspect we need to dwell upon. And then I'm adequate is a major, I'm inadequate is a major aspect, which is, if you really dig in deep, for many of the cases we are intervening, in most of the cases, we have seen that the people with an youngsters come and discuss with us, they all have a problem, either into an perfection or into a problem of inadequacy, that I'm not adequate. I am inadequate about what I am. I'm feeling helpless because I'm inadequate. I'm feeling helpless or hopeless because I don't have the competence to deal with that. This is something you can actually look into the cases, and you can actually draw conclusion based on that also. And then I'm overloaded, experiencing kind of a severe burnout. I don't actually, for example, if I ask you, you have a son or a daughter, you're going to get them married, and how will you be loaded? Actually, you will be triple the time, or 4 5 times you will be loaded with the workload, isn't it? You will be doing a lot of things. You have to, I know, talk to the in-law, I mean the someone whoever is going to come, and then the your doctors, in-law, parent-in-laws, you have to convince them, and you have to really think about getting what are the things she wanted, setting up her married life, how it is going to be, preparing her daughter, and fixing up the mall, fixing up the the other formalities. All these events require a lot of attention, a lot of work is there. You have to really look into detail and minute detail of what is going to next, what is next, what is next. If you see that the entire 3 months, or when the marriage is fixed, and when the the wedlock has taken place, and then till the marriage time, you will be tightly engaged with an entire, the marriage work, and you will never feel that, you will never feel burnout of that. You will feel enjoying, because it is the most beautiful moment in your daughter's life. It is the most beautiful thing is happening to your family. It is a very good auspicious event is happening at family, and you also enjoy the entire aspect of celebrating every day with a new name. Today is the 10th day we fixed up, and today 1 month is over with the fixing up, and then marriage is just going to happen within 3 months. Like every day you think of something to celebrate, and you also keep enjoying that, isn't it? So this is not at all overloaded when you really enjoy. So there is, the amount of work you are having is actually greater than the work what you are doing right now, but you really enjoy it. You don't actually feel bad, you don't grip upon that, you really enjoy the entire thing. You never say that is burnout, isn't it? So the other aspect is, I don't feel confident. You can fill it up when it happens. When it has happened, it happens. No, I don't feel confident when I meet a new person. When I don't feel confident when I have to present myself. When I don't feel confident when I have been asked to a formal, address a formal gathering. I don't feel confident when I have to meet a new person and convince them for my sales. I don't feel confident. You can see n number of things I don't feel confident when. You can actually fill in the gaps. You can see that I don't feel confident in front of my in-laws. Somebody says, I don't feel confident when it comes to my seniors. If you ask a small boy at the school, he will say that I don't feel confident when I appears in front of the HM. So there are a lot of things are going in our back of our mind to say what is the next, filling up statement. And why I am so shy and quiet. You ask yourself most of the time. I used to be very, very bold when it comes to this person, but why I'm so shy and quiet in front of these people? I've come to an office, I'm not opening up. I'm really aware of all my, assignments, and I have done my best in my schools and colleges. I have all the credentials, but I'm very shy and quiet in front of all these people. Why? You used to ask, wonder yourself, isn't it? And then why I couldn't just break out of my shell. This is the most important aspect of everybody's inner voice. You can see that. I don't know, I couldn't break myself out of the shell and come out and speak out and voice over. That is a major, major problem I'm facing with the youngsters. This one, they come out and say that I'm not comfortable to. They are very, no, they surrender with the statement, I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable to deal with this. They don't even wanted to venture it. The problem is, if you really venture only, you will come to know about whether I can do or I cannot do it. But they decide and come. They say that I'm feeling uncomfortable to take this job. I think I won't be able to do this because I'm like this. I'm a bit shy of a person. I cannot do this. If I give an opportunity for them to come and join in a club and do activities to come over of this, they say that I feel that I am not suitable for this because it is not my cup of tea. Okay, chalo, with cup of coffee you can go. But these people are already fixed to their mind while they come and talk. They say they don't want, they have an anxiousness to break their shell and come on experience. They even don't want to break the shell because that experience, they are finding it very difficult to go through. They don't know what kind of an experience that is also. I'll tell you that the most beautiful experience, one you conquer any of your fear and come out of it and you look back and see yourself, how was I now, how I am right now. That is the most beautiful credit you can give it to yourself. You will feel really enhanced. You feel that you have achieved something really great. Your dopamine increases. You will feel that I have little contribution for my own personal growth, isn't it? I have moved a bit in front of everyone that which I was challenged for myself. That is the greatest gift you can give it yourself. Why couldn't I just be myself? There are a lot of people say this. I couldn't be myself there in front of all. I was an unusual person in front of all because I don't know how to present it to them. I don't know how to express my feelings. I don't know whether my opinion will be taken for. I don't know whether they will consider my plea. So these doubts have been there inside our mind that we don't even experiment ourselves to go and talk about that. And I have seen many of the people, they keep their mouth shut and they don't even express their, they don't come forward to express what is that they are going through. Your experience is your experience. My experience is my experience. You have to regard everybody's experience. And there is an opinion for me, there is an opinion for you also. So everybody's opinion matters. But most of the time we say that is my opinion matters. What a big deal if I'm going to tell, is there any change is going to come? So somebody is, Hare Baba, somebody is talking that their opinion is correct. Is every opinion what they state is going to be correct? Not, isn't it? In that case, I have a say. Sometimes it may really work wonders. I can, in my opinion, I'm stating this. You can very well state that, isn't it? So that is the major components I'm seeing, that lot of the women in the families are not able to share their opinions, right? They don't come forward and say, because what matters, if I tell also this person is not going to listen. If I say my in-laws are not going to listen to me. If I say also they're going to reject only. However, I say they are going to neglect and do what they want only. Why should I say? But once you say your opinion, sometimes 10 times, because they've never seen your opinions have been voiced out. If you start voicing out only, they will come to know that yes, she also has a say. She also says something, she is also thinking in that process. So they will at least listen to you. And then probably next 4 or 5 times when you attempt, they will come forward to take up the opinion also. It's all a matter of how you really present yourself. For that, you require a lot of courage to speak up. Can I speak now? The most important question somebody has to ask if they have a problem of initiating a conversation, isn't it? Most of the time I've seen that people will be waiting for everybody to talk. They won't be initiating. They'll be keep the hands together and tied up, and they'll be watching everybody talking. They'll be nodding, yeah. They will be commenting, all that they will say. And then last minute they say, everybody has told what is there in my mind. Who stopped you to tell? You would have spoken first, You would have, in a given moment, you would have tried. In a given moment, then opportunity is open. I say that I think I can speak now with this particular point, which I feel it is most important from my point of view. What is bothering for others? It is your point of view. It is also one point you are expressing it. So that is a very essential aspect to say first. It is more important. And then doing. Saying first itself is people require a lot of preparation. And I've seen many of my students do this. They never come out and talk. And now with an online education, we are finding it very difficult whether they are there, they are not there, they are sleeping, or they. Most of the time, the network connection is poor. They don't switch on the video. Whether they are lying down or whether they are listening, whether their video is on, whether they are eating, we don't know. We assume that they're listening, we trust them, and we keep, giving, the best what we can do. In that case, can I speak now? I have never, very few come forward and initiate the conversation. This is something which we need to really, inculcate right from the childhood. When the child come and ask questions, we curtail them. We tell them, you don't know, you keep quiet. Keep on asking question. Don't say in Tamil சொல்லுவாங்க நை நைன்னு கேள்வி கேட்டுட்டே இருக்காத. So they will keep the mouth shut of the child at the very young age, which is really bothering many of them to voice over. They have a very genuine concern. They have a very genuine doubt. They come and ask to the child, if you don't know, refer and tell. I don't know, I'll ask the doctor and tell you. I don't know, I will talk to an expert and tell you. I don't know, it is okay to say I don't know, but don't curtail the person who's asking. It's the major aspects we need to really repair ourselves. And then if I'm wrong, oh my God, they find it very difficult to ask next question. Sometimes they may be wrong. It happens to everyone. Even I may be wrong in some of the conversations. It is not that one is perfect in everything. And the knowledge which has been open, it may be tested, it may be proven wrong also. Even Freud was not being recognized for some of the aspects what he has told. He has been, he has been raised with controversies with his own contemporaries, and his own, followers have raised question against him also. But he is very, very thorough on what he has spoke about. The other person's concerned to prove it or disprove it. He shouldn't be thinking, isn't it? If somebody says wrong, you need not take it in your head. You can say, accept, I'm ready to change it if you really feel it is wrong. Or if it is wrong, you have done a blunder, you can ask sorry. It's something very, very, obvious that you have done a mistake. You can accept and keep going. So be aware of your inner voices. These are the inner voices I have given you in a short while, but there are a number of inner voices we all have. Okay, so with this note, I would like to share a small story for all of you. This is a story which is very close to my heart. I would have shared it in many of the, presentations also. Here with this crowd, I don't know whether you all are aware of it. I wanted to tell you this story. So you would have seen the elephants in the temples. The temple elephants would have brought when they are very, young baby elephants. The baby elephants come and stand in a place. You know which is the baby elephant. They are very, very naughty. They cannot keep themselves quiet. They playful. They will be keep running here and there. They'll be, fiddling with. And the elephants are huge. Even the baby is huge. They cannot actually keep up things in a right. So they will be playing and things will be haphazard. So what they make is they will tie it with a huge chain and keep it tied with a pole, either with an iron pole or it is an, made up of stone, that pole, toon solluva, kaltu. They would, put it tied in that and they will lock it. And this baby elephant will keep trying to break that, and it will keep trying to come out of that, the chain, and it will keep trying to break the chain, or it will keep trying to somehow release it and come. But this baby couldn't, do that because the chain is very big. It is iron chain and it is also locked with the pole. And you can see this, though the elephant is small, the baby, it cannot turn all around and, look into the back leg, because it would be always tied in the back leg. It is very, very difficult for the baby to untangle, that is, break that. But if you really see this particular elephant grown up after after 30 years, you are visiting the same temple, that elephant would have grown bigger. It has become bigger now. It looks very, beautiful with a huge, tusk and beautiful elephant now in front of you. You would have noticed, it would be wonder that there won't be any type, there won't be any kind of an iron chain around this particular leg, and which is tied in the pole or locked in the pole. It would have been kept like an anklet, or sometimes it is being thrown around like a circle. It is not even tied. But this elephant not even able to, it won't even try to move away. It will just go in, go front and back movement. That's all. It has been keep doing that for a quite long time. It will be doing only the same. What could be the reason? Tell me. Some of you can unmute yourself and talk. People who conditioning. Okay. Yeah.
Helplessness, ma'am.
Yeah.
Learned
Yeah.
helplessness.
Learned helplessness. Super. Psychologists are coming into
Ma'am,
surface.
he's trusting. Yeah, I am tied.
Trusting that I'm tied. Okay, fantastic. Then, please go ahead. Please go ahead with some other answers.
It's a part of belief system, ma'am.
It's a part of the belief system. What do you mean by that?
See, from the early stage itself, it's believed that once it is tied up, it's believed that okay, it's like this, so it will continue. Same belief.
Okay.
In transaction analysis, we say the baby elephant has already written its script and is following the script.
Okay. So, okay. So, if different perspectives, school of thoughts have come. Anything else?
Ma'am, actually, it is a
Yes, Mr. Shivakumar.
subconscious mind. It has been seated, like I am tied up, so I cannot now come up. So it is a deep ingranation in the mind.
Okay,
Of the
that's what
baby
he
elephant.
said. That's what he said. It is scripted inside.
Yeah,
Okay.
physical block became a mental block.
Okay,
Yes,
physical
sir, yes,
block
sir, right,
has
sir.
become a mental block. Fantastic. So
Correct,
it is a
sir.
mental
Correct, sir.
block,
Correct.
it is a conditioning, it is a learned helplessness, it is something it started believing that I cannot break it, and it is scripted in a subconscious mind. A physical is moved into mental. Beautiful answers. But if you really say that the mental work, what? Yeah, what is that you said? Go ahead.
Might be
Asthma.
perception.
What is that?
Perception. Your
What?
own experience,
Perception.
the way you see the
Perception.
She's telling perception, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay, perception. Okay, Asthana. It's a perception. Okay, let me take it, and everybody's point and everybody's opinion is well taken because everything matters. The very important aspect over here is they started believing that I cannot break and putting it very strongly into a belief system. It has become a core belief, and then it has become a script or a schema, what he has said, isn't it? So in that case, it has not even tried once that whether I can go forward. Have you seen that? It would have not even gone out of that, the set mindset which has created, which has been blocked inside. So it has only a known a chain which is in iron, and which is also only one tied up with the pole. But the human has so many invisible chains. Don't you agree? There are so many invisible chains. I'm not attractive, I'm not enough, I don't talk English good, my grammar is not good, I don't know how to express my feelings, I know in front of others I'm like this. There are so many invisible chains we all have. We need to entangle one by one to come out of this. To relate to this, we have to really move, we have to unscript. There is something, Dr. Muthia said that we can always do unlearn and relearn. That is, we can also unscript it. Am I right, Muthia ji?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so you can also do that unscripting can take place. It is very essential for all of us. If you hear your inner voice saying this, you cannot paint, then first do painting and see whether you can do it or not. I can challenge you. I'll tell you that I was never been exposed for painting, and I really wanted to do and try. Okay, I tried. I trusted. Just I will go and follow what the teacher says, the guru says. I will follow 100%. I will try my best. I will do my best. I will put up an effort of my best. I did that. You know that I have come out with a beautiful painting, which is a Kerala mural. I was really thrilled to see that. Is that I have done it? Is that I could do like this? Then if a person who has not tried so far, they don't actually know what they are capable of, isn't it? The very important aspect is they don't even try because they don't feel confident to try. So it is a kind of a catch-22 situation. If once I am confident only, I will try, but I don't even try. I don't know what is the potential I have, what is I'm capable of, how I can do better. That question doesn't arise if I stick without trying. So that's the reason behaviorists talk about if you do, you can really become. You have to keep trying and doing. There are different school of thoughts. Different school of thoughts talks about in a different language, but the matter is same, that you have to really keep trying. Keep doing. and list out. And honestly, what is that these bothering words you have? We all this confidence in this world. What I would do? List out. If I am confident, I would have really win in that, first prize in that. If I would have been a confident person, I would have stood good in that, particular competition which everybody was talking in the, it is an allocation competition or something. Or if I would have been confident that I would have definitely won in the interview. If I would have been confident that I would have written that particular examination well, if I would have been confident that I would have definitely get married to that girl which I have proposed and loved in the first sight. There will be first love. Sometimes you would have never expressed also. Keep on thinking about the first love now that I missed the chance. I missed the bus, isn't it? So there are possibilities for all of us to say like this. I would have been confident that at least once I would have met this guy and told that you are most beautiful guy. You are so inspiring. I would like to, hug you. So something, the confidence really matters for us. And what does the confidence mean to us? It's being what I want, I am, isn't it? I just want to be the person who I am. That is what is all about confidence. If I'm comfortable in my own shoe, then I'm not confident. That who can actually reach, I can tell you. Who else can judge you better than you? Who else can say that you don't feel confident? Only you can judge on that, isn't it? So in that case, the moment you realize that I'm not confident enough, we need to really ask ourselves, what makes me to be uncomfortable in this? What is the major flaw that I'm undergoing in life? If I'm actually not enough, then why I'm trying this on that? So if I something I'm enough only, I will be doing it, isn't it? There are a lot of theories have disproved that the intelligence stuck in this, and you are only this intelligent, you can only do this. And a lot of theories say that if you really keep trying with your own self, with various activities, various skills, you can develop anything. There is a theory now with the neural plasticity. They say that you can unlearn anything, relearn, and also you can inscript something which is very new for yourself. There can be a neural pathways which can be laid again in your same route, which is totally different the perspective what you had earlier. That is possible. In that case, I can unlearn, relearn at any age. Then it is possible for all of us to be confident also. That is the major reason the learned optimism arrived. When Martin Seligman was working with the dogs, when he was experimenting on learned helplessness, he understood the concept of conditioning, break conditioning, and then learned helplessness. One can drive into learned helplessness. One can be reversed back to their stage of optimal utilization of their resources also. Then it is called optimization of their resources. Then it is that is the most important theory is born, that is out of that is learned optimism. If the person can really learn something new at the age of 80, one person is going for marathon and winning so many kilometers. He would have never gone. I know the person personally. I spoke to him. He said that I have been identified with an heart, valve block, and the doctor said walking is good. I started walking. At the age of 78, he tried walking. He walked and then he moved, little jogging, and then he started planning for a little running. He was running. He is actually in Bangalore. I have met him. I spoke to him. He is a real inspiration. He is actually going in cycle. He is running marathons. He has done more. I think he has covered more than 1,000 kilometers. What a beautiful inspiration and aspiration he has to perform at the age of 80. There are people, they're totally unaware of certain things and they come and venture and they come forward and they share their experience with, okay, I have learned this when I am 70s and 80s. Why don't you do it when you are young? They come and say, share. But we don't actually care about it. Others' experience also we don't care. Our experience also we don't care. We only think about, we will let us grip on this self-doubt and let's be comfortable on our zone. So it is very important you associate confidence with calm, ease, and assurance that comes with your zeal, isn't it? Every day when you get up from the bed, saying to yourself, the most enthusiastic day today, I'm going to do my best today. Whatever I'm taking, even cooking, even a jogging, even whatever it may be, a little thing I'm going to do, I'm going to enjoy and do. I'm going to really be zealous on that. That means the ikigai is on. The Japanese technique of ikigai is on. That is, you are in movement, you are appreciating yourself, you are able to actually keep your enthusiasm on. That's a very important aspect. Smile first and then anticipate being successful. This is the most important quality one required to have a kind of an confidence. Anticipate. Most of the time we anticipate failure. If it doesn't work, what will happen if the person says no? What will happen if I do a blunder? What will happen if somebody doesn't accept my point? What will happen if somebody judge me based on this? All these if and buts are only about the failure. But what will happen if I do it successfully? What will happen? I do the best out of it. What will happen if I am the one who has been selected out of the 10? What will happen if I have done the best and have been appreciated by the judge? If you think anticipating successful is the most blissful event you can actually create for yourself. You don't even try, you just at least anticipate success. I'll tell you one of the smallest story here about Bhakti Sharma. She's a TED Talk person, and she's a sports, she's an open water swimmer, sports person. And most beautifully, she's from Rajasthan. She's from Rajasthan. I have shared in some of the women achievers or women mental health webinar also. I have shared this experience or a story about Bhakti Sharma, but still it's worth to repeat. Bhakti Sharma is from Rajasthan. She was very young when she was being asked by her mom that she was so really happy about doing summer camp. She tried swimming. She just started loving swimming. She said that, Amma, I really like swimming. Then that mama said that, why don't you try appearing for the competitions? She said, I am ready. She prepared herself, state level, district level, state level, all that she has come. And many she won, and many also she is not able to stand first. It's fine. But she has been trying. And one most important quality, once her mother asked her, can you do an open water swimming? Because there's a challenge about English channel, English channel swimming. Can you take it up that particular, that event? It was going to be very, exciting. Can you take it up? This girl asked, what is open water swimming? You all know that Rajasthan doesn't have an open water. That is, there is no ocean there. There is no sea there. So she has not seen that. So very young age, she asked that, what is open water swimming? She said, it is on an ocean. It is on a, it is on a sea. Okay, sea. It is also water, no, ma? Yes. It's here also water, there also water. I'm ready to do that. See, look at the anticipation of being successful. Wherever I'm going to do, I'm going to it in the water. I'm going to do my duty of swimming. Let it be wherever it is. Let me try. She never even know. There is no distinct depth. You cannot measure the depth of it. There is no distinct boundaries, isn't it, for the ocean? But this girl was really open for that. She did that, and she has been training herself inside, inside that. I think it is near Mumbai, Arabian Sea. She was trying, and she was staying in their friend's family, and she tried herself, and she has been continuously doing this. And then she got a confidence that I will do it, ma. Then she has crossed at the youngest age English channel. You go and Google it, Bhakti Sharma's experience, TED Talk, Rajasthan to Antarctica. She has not stopped there. She has gone Antarctica and she has crossed the channel also. Hottest city, Rajasthan. She has gone all the way to the chillest, coldest place, Antarctica. She has conquered. You know, that's how she was doing preparation for that. She was preparing herself by putting 20 tons and 40 tons of ice cubes inside the pool, and she was practicing herself so that she can get accustomed to the kind of a coolness. And then she came out of it and she has conquered. She is the youngest girl to conquer the largest distance in the Antarctica Ocean. She said that every step I'm making, every stroke I'm making in the swimming, I was just focusing on the next move. Nothing else was in my mind, because my target was not visible. The fog was there in my goggles. I couldn't see the target, but I am really confident I will cross, because I am confident that I am swimming every step. Beautifully, she states in the TED Talk. So anticipating successful is the key for you getting out of your comfort zone and try for, let me do and check whether I can do or not. I cannot shield myself without trying and saying that I don't. So, as I said, that is confidence is something a mystery as the catch 20. Unless you try, you may not be able to feel confident. If you keep on, no, whether the chick come first or the egg come first, like, whatever it comes, it has to come first, isn't it? Let it be a chick or let it be a chick, or the egg. You have to really try doing something on your own. It is a very essential aspect. So trusting yourself, trusting that something good will happen. No matter your try may get a failure or something, it is okay. I will learn a new skill and keep moving. That's the most important aspect in confidence building. So, what is all about this on? What is all about the self confidence? Then, is that my slide is moving?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, so the self-confidence, as you all know, that it is a very, very beautiful aspect we all must actually experience, isn't it? So this is something, somewhere it has been told as an action verb, somewhere it has been felt like it has been a value, it has been oriented with your goals, and somewhere it has been spoken that the act of what you are doing it with a courage. And somewhere it talks about the competence to accept and keep moving. Somewhere it talks about the compassion you have it on yourself. So this is something, the action come before the feelings. That is, you take a step forward, value that you possess that competence, believe that I can do, and then take a step towards it. So it is a kind of a process oriented skill. Then you need to be keep on trying, keep on working, keep on reinforcing, keep on telling yourself that I have conquered that, I have done this, that, and if I've tried this successfully, why can't I? Why can't I this? So this keep on telling to yourself is most important. If there's an anxiousness associated to that particular goal, you need to really look into and some other goal where you have ventured first time and you have come through that process and you have succeeded. And though there was an anxiousness, how you handled that past success really matters a lot. So keep that in mind when you have been moving. So where confidence comes from? If you ask, somebody will say that if my father says that I have done a good job only, I will feel that I have done a good job. If my mother agrees with my point only, I will come to know that I have done. If you go and watch the TV for the first rank holders, in the interview, they will attribute, they will say that my school has done a wonderful job, my teacher has done an excellent teaching, my parents have been very, very kind and supporting, and my watchman has done a beautiful job that every day he used to say, Thambi, first varno, all this contributed for me to do. They keep themselves in a very, very meager, they don't even recognize themselves. What is very important is not about self-boasting. It is all about everybody was supporting. I was doing my best. I keep on doing my best. That is because I was able to understand that my work is going to really fulfill the goal. So I was working for it throughout. So that recognition is very important. So confidence comes from when you have been grounded. When you have been grounded, when you know you are aware about yourself, you are aware about your strength, aware about your limitations, aware that I can do this, I cannot do this, I am good in this, I am little comfortable in this, I am not comfortable in this. Though that is not comfortable, I can venture it because something else I am good, I can try on this. So that comes when you are being grounded. So I would like to mention a small story over here. I have mentioned elephant, donkey, that's all to remember the stories. Elephant, I have already told you. The donkey is all about. So this is also a story which is a very, very beautiful one, which I really enjoyed while reading it. So there was a man who was actually a merchant. He was having a donkeys and he has to cross the river. He has to cross the river. The donkeys has to be carried in the boat. And he cannot carry all the donkeys one at a time. No, it cannot be carried because the boat is very small. He has to plan in such a way that you have to carry, at least one by one he can carry, or two in a shot he can carry. And he has only one thread, that is one kairi or a loop to tie that donkey. That is very too short for tying also. So he was wondering, how can I leave one donkey without tying? He has been looking here and there. He has already having two in a control. He has loaded, loaded inside the boat. But he is wondering, how can I actually tie the other donkey and how can I leave it? And if it runs, what will happen? All that he is keeping in mind, and he is so anxious and looking here and there. There is a monk crossed by that place and he asked what has happened. So he said that, can you take care of this single donkey so that I can go? One I will tie, one is left alone without an tying rope. Can you just take care? He said that, no need. You just make the kind of a gesture that you have tied it with the, pole. Just make it that you have a rope in your hand and tie it on the, the donkey's holder. So just to move on. He actually believed the words of the monk and he left the place with the donkeys and he left it over and with an in charge person over there. He came back. The two donkeys were stood there and he was surprised to see the donkey which has not been tied with an actual, actual thread also. That is the rope also. Then what he has asked is, the monk came again. He was looking at, thank God you have given me the right direction at the right time. So I'm taking my donkeys. He was untying one donkey and taking it away, and the other donkey was refusing to come. Other donkey which has not been tied with the rope is refusing to come. He has tried his best. The monk said that, have you untied what you have tied already? He was actually confused. I didn't had a rope at all, but is that the donkey knows? No, untie it and then it will come. He made again the gesture of untying it. Then the donkey came along with it. Most beautiful thing you can learn from us, you need to be understanding the story and its crux. So see, if you started believing that, you need to really we all carry such a kind of beliefs in ourselves, isn't it? We have to really be aware of ourselves and untie all these and come forward. And if you have started believing that even an imaginary things can tie us, then you cannot be. So grounding essentially makes you to feel and make you comfortable. Being in grounded, your sense comes to an evoke that I have done this. I'm aware of this competence. I'm aware that I can do this. I am aware that I'm capable of this. I'm aware that I am capable of these are the aspects in my life I have handled very well. I have handled my relationship very well. I have handled these things very well. So I can really do well. That comes from within, isn't it? So that you really value, and that particular hard work you have put in to learn across your lifespan so far, whatever may be your age, 30, 40 or 50 or 60, it doesn't matter. Putting that effort is important, isn't it? And doing every now and then towards that goal is important. Not just confidence doesn't come, okay, I can do it. If you say it doesn't come, you have to really work for it. So once one person tried, so he has been keep on praying to God. I have written lottery for you guys to remember the story. So he has been keep on praying. I should get a lottery of 50 lakhs and I should distribute. I should become a rich person. Please God help me. Please God help me. Please give me 50 lakhs. Please give me 50 lakhs. Every day he prays. Okay. Every day he is praying to the Lord. And one day God came without a patient. He said that, Arey Baba, you first buy the lottery ticket. How can I help you if you don't buy the lottery ticket? Okay. So unless you don't do something, even God cannot help you. You have to keep on telling to yourself, you may not be able to venture into it. You may not be able to conquer that what you really want. So this is something which we need to really think about ourselves. Not all self-doubt is bad things, because it is also giving some kind of an caution for us. Sometimes fear is a signal for us to be prepared enough. If I don't prepare very well in front of Dr. Muthiah Ramanathan, I will be flunking, isn't it? So I need to really prepare very well. And if there is something is very important for you, you have to really be aware of that. Is some kind of a survival signal we are getting about. It is not all the time you have been, if the self-doubt is always wrong. It is that how we are going to handle it, how we are going to come out of it. That matters a lot. Then the most important things which I started with also, There are a lot of myths have been spoken that it has been largely spoken even in the worldwide that if an extrovert person is there and if the person is an introvert, the introvert person is being challenged much on, they are having a lot of inhibition when it comes to confidence. Not at all. So Mahatma Gandhi he is not an outward person. He is not a person who is having a kind of an extrovert qualities, but he was able to conquer, shake the entire world with this calm and composed way of approaching ahimsa. He could conquer. Even now, no other nation has somebody called father of nation. Mahatma Gandhi is most beautifully being called, addressed as the father of nation. Wherever you address, you feel like you have been really proud to have such a kind of an beautiful, noble soul in our earth. There may be a lot of things you can think about. He has conquered without a war. He was able to shake the entire world with this conviction. That is only possible because he had confidence, courage to keep on. The courage and the confidence is not just it's based on the personality, how you really describe yourself and how you really work on yourself, how much you put an effort to make an idea to come into a true picture. That's the most important aspect. So there is a zero correlation between the bigger talker as having the best ideas. This has been told by the well-renowned researcher. It's not that the most beautiful talkers or the pep talkers are always a good researcher. Not at all. There will not be an motivational talkers. All of them are from the psychology background. Not at all. So there are a lot of myths about. You have to really understand all this. So what it means to be confident then? So I know this confidence where it emerged from. What does I have to do about that? So it according to the it is listed based on my opinion, also with an author's opinion. But you may have, it is n number of things you can add upon this. You can actually brainstorm with your own ideas and your own experiences, and you can actually, improve the list with your own experiences. The courage, the most important thing is you have prepared yourself to be courageous in whatever the circumstances you are in. So I'm going to venture into this. I don't know what is the result of it, but I am courageous to go and explore myself. The person who is actually an explorative in nature will never think about the result in mind. They will think the process, learning, helping themselves, not struck with the result in their mind. So the courage is the most important milestone to actually nurture in you. Keep up the courage always. And also build your children with courage. Courage to ask questions, courage to raise question in an appropriate way, courage to ask question in a forum, courage to ask question in a very healthy and respectful way, and also boldness. Even there is a courage, the boldness to express it, the language, the words you are using, the boldness in your tone, the boldness in your feeling of how you position yourself. It is very important. And then the boldness in action. If you see that the most beautiful things on most beautiful revolutions have taken place in the earth only because of one person's single bold actions, they would have felt it. They would have come forward. They would have done something and shown the entire world that it could be possible. That bold actions are important. And bravery in small steps. Every step I'm making towards this journey should be a brave one. I shouldn't be trembling anywhere. I shouldn't be feeling insecure anywhere because my security is within me. It is not based on what I'm doing. So this is the most essential aspect we need to practice. And then the self-assurance. You are assured what you are doing. You should be having a clear picture of what you are doing. If you have an authenticity, what you are doing, then it comes, the courage comes automatically. The boldness comes automatically. The assurance of that what I have read, I am doing. I have done justice for preparation. I know what I am doing. I will definitely do my best. So that comes with a self-assurance. And then self-compassion. Loving yourself, accepting yourself, standing for, yes, Muthu. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, we can go ahead, ma'am.
If somebody raised anything?
No, ma'am, nothing, ma'am. I think Shivakumar sir tried to, he is talking I think with somebody near to him. You can go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you so much. So the
Ma'am, sorry
self-compassion
to
is,
interrupt you. Senthil sir, can you just locate your camera? It's disturbing us. Yeah, it's okay, sir. Okay, ma'am. Please carry on.
so the self-compassion is something which you need to really accept and respect yourself. That is the most important aspect. Respecting and also, appreciating yourself for what you are. If I know, I would appreciate me if I would have been a very good businessman. I would appreciate me if I would have conquered this. If I would have appreciated me if I had been in the first position of this. I would have appreciated me if I would have had in 1 crore worth of bangla. That doesn't know. It's all come from a material. What is that you have really established in this world? What identity you have created for yourself? That matters a lot, isn't it? The self-compassion comes from within, which you need to nurture. Feel the confidence in you. And then the acceptance, which I have already told you, the acceptance is a major important aspect. If you reject, if you neglect, or if you keep bypassing, it is not going to happen at all. Accepting the fact that I have this limitation, I am ready to embrace it. I am ready to challenge myself. I am ready to change myself. This comes when you started accepting. That's the most beautiful thing can happen in your life. If you start accepting people around, if you start accepting your failures, if you start accepting what has turned negative, if you started accepting others' mistake and it's okay to forgive them, you see that the wonder is happening in your own life. That is possible. And then graceful gestures. It may be in gratitude, it may be a thankfulness, it may be an forgiveness, it may be something on optimism. If you hold all this, you will never grudge upon certain things which is very negative and grip over and without which is hindering your confidence in your life, and then allowing others to grow. A person who's a leader, let the other person go and back them up. That means the leader will walk the fox and the kind of an animals, they go in a group and they go for hunting. I have seen most beautiful things happening when the leaders lead. They go in the last. They go in the last so that they ensure that none of their crew is left over. That means, so there is a book called The Leaders Eat, the last, I don't remember, probably Mutya sir might be knowing. When I remember it, I'll tell you. So it is something a very good
In a
one.
ship, normally they say the captain is the last person to come out in an emergency.
Yeah, that is fine, Mutyaji. This is about a book, it is written on leadership. Okay, I'll remember it and tell you. Okay.
Madani,
Leaders eat last.
Last, fantastic.
வாங்க,
Leaders eat
முடியும்.
last.
நாளைக்கு தான் வாங்க முடியும்.
Leaders eat last. That's the book. Fantastic. Thank
நாளைக்கு
you.
தான் வாங்க முடியும், தானே. Why, தானே?
By Simon Syke, who has written
Salim.
why.
Yeah, that is right. That is right. I really appreciate people if you please mute yourself so that it is easy for me to proceed over. And then allowing others to grow is the most important tendency to grow your confidence also. You can see people growing under you. You can see that it is most important that you are also creating a legacy for yourself. You are letting other person growing, that you feel that certain secretion experience. You feel that somebody is growing because of you. Your service is helping them to move forward. That is the most beautiful thing you can do when you're educating someone, when you're creating awareness, when you're letting other person to grow. That gives you a lot of confidence, because you incline to have a lot of responsibilities when you are letting other person to grow, because they are following you. You may be an inspiration for them. You may be a role model for them. Then you hold a responsibility and commitment with what you are doing. Your dedication really gives you a lot of courage and confidence to grow up. That's the most beautiful thing you can do for others. And then not hoarding. People who are hoarding, people have the tendency to hoard. They won't let the secrets out. They'll keep up the books. They won't give things to others. They will be hoarding. Even the knowledge they will be hoarding, they won't get let to. They will have the Toril Ravasiyam Solon, the business secrets. They will keep up for themselves. They won't even let the other person know. I'll tell you, in the internet, everything is open. Now, you cannot buy only your mom or dad. You can get everything out of this choice in the internet nowadays. So you need not, if you hoard also, people are going to discover and come to know. So there are best things are available for everyone. The knowledge is something is plenty available. access is also available. So if you are going to hoard, you are going to be the person who are going to feel that I'm hoarding because of this, that. The moment you come to know somebody is also doing the same, your confidence will come down. So better not to hoard, give it open. Then you will see that you are also growing along with them. And then the original. This I found it most interesting because if you come out with an original, if somebody is cheating you, somebody is taking your material, somebody is doing something from your side also, you can prepare another one. The most beautiful, the Edison said that once his entire lab was been burning out of, burning into an ash. He said that I can rebuild this. I can do all these, inventions on my, because it is all mine. It is their original. He said that all my mistakes are burning. I can do innovatively and I can rethink originally. I can bring out a new ideas. Most beautiful things you can do it for yourself is hold the original thought, hold the original idea, hold the original process in your mind. You'll always feel confident. You can prepare on your own. You need not be, depending on someone, isn't it? Even if you hold somebody's things, you have to be really acknowledging them. It's most important things. With this note, it is really, really possible for for all of us to practice these things if you are really aware of yourself, where you are keeping yourself. So what is not confidence also, I should tell you, because not all the time the confidence work out in like a formula manner. People must be aware of what is not confidence also. I see that now a lot of people come out that I know this, that, as if they talk that everything under the sun they know. So it is something rubbish. We have to really understand that what is overconfidence also. Confidence doesn't mean that same, kind of an arrogance or a narcissism that I know everything kind of. It is not, I will do my best as, I will only do my best as something called arrogance. Okay, so we have to be aware of that. And taking up too much of space, being in a confident manner that taking somebody's space and occupying somebody's space, it is not at all actually, nurtured or appreciated, which we need to be aware of. And confidence is not about being one who speaks loudest. It is not that though somebody is talking loud in front of everybody, they are confident. The matters is who is able to express the apt ideas at the apt time with the right kind of a people in an appropriate way. They're only confident. Okay. Who dominates every moment? You can see that people will be dominating one or the other. They will make sure that their point are listened always. They will never pay way to the other person to talk. These people think they are confident. It is not at all. The one who is confident will wait for their chance and express themselves. And it is also not about having a fancy car or symbols of wealth or something the status is confidence. It's all about how you live even after your death. There is a beautiful saying I have read. It's a Chinese proverb, I think. What is the statement you are going to write on your the doom, that is in your what we call it kalare, yeah, in the grave? What is that you are going to write? The person who is, the most honest person is sleeping. The most knowledgeable person is sleeping. The most humblest person with a lot of achievement is sleeping. The most beautiful, loving, kind-hearted person is sleeping. Most compassionate person with a great, great heart is sleeping. That is the most important wealth you are giving to yourself and your entire legacy. That has to be kept in mind. Start stepping on on other people's toes and say that I am right. This is also not at all confident. If you are confident, you'll stay, wait, calm, composed, and you'll say it with a lot of confidence, looking with the person's eyes and talk that I'm right, because my point is this. I don't know whether it is going to be well taken or not. I'm not bothered, but I'm expressing it because it is my opinion. That is the most beautiful thing you can do it to yourself, gift it to yourself, confidently facing the other person eye and talk. So with this note, I would like to ask you whether you feel, you are confident, how much you feel that you are having self-doubt. In the first slide, I have asked you, now after this entire journey of what is that we have looked out till the presentation right now, how much you have changed. Some of you can raise your hand or a thumbs up and say that there is a perspective change in me. Fantastic.
Very much, Mrs. Subhashri. Very much. Your session was really crisp. And I could see the amount of work you have put in making the slides. So kudos, and let everyone, let the knowledge spread, let wonders happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So confidence is about being rooted who you are really worth. So the self-worth need to be understood by yourself. You have to really tell it to yourself, I'm the best. That means I'm not the only best. I'm one among the best, isn't it? I'm the best. I will do my best. And I'm grounded. I'm really aware about myself. I'm also ready to change. I'm accepting change. I'm confident. That's the reason I am ready to take risk. I am confident. That's the reason I am helping others. I'm confident. That's the reason I could empathize with the other person with a lot of compassion. I'm confident that I can build my image at any time. This is the most beautiful gift you can give it to yourself, your own kith and kin, your own children, your own family, and your own professional colleagues. And most beautifully, the next generation you are leaving with a lot of confidence and courage that is going to really repair their future. Thank you. With this note, I am really concluding my presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Nice, very wonderful session. தமிழ்ல சொல்லணும்னா அனல் பறக்கும் பேச்சு மேம். ஸோ அருமையான ஒரு செஷன். எவ்ரிபடி ஐ திங்க் வில் அக்செப்ட் திஸ் டுடேஸ் செஷன்.
Do you refer any book, ma'am? One or two books?
Yeah, I can send you the book.
Thank you.
Participant, you can interact with the resource person. If you want to share, you want to discuss anything, you can. Feel free to talk to Dr. Subha, ma'am.
Hi, Subha ma'am. I'm Chitra from Tirupur.
Yes, please, Chitra.
ஒரு மழை மாதிரி பொழிஞ்சு தள்ளிட்டீங்க மேம். அத்தனை பாசிட்டிவிட்டி. நோ வேர்ட்ஸ் டு எக்ஸ்போஸ் மை ஹாப்பினஸ். அதாவது கேட்டுக்கிட்டே இருக்கலாம் போல இருக்கு. அதுக்குள்ள முடிச்சிட்டீங்களேன்னு இருக்கு எனக்கு.
அதாவது Ayurveda says that if you really want to eat more, you have to stop.
Yes, ma'am. அருமையா அத்தனை பாயிண்ட்ஸும் ஈச் அண்ட் எவ்ரி ஒன் இஸ் வண்டர்ஃபுல். அதெல்லாம் ஃபாலோ பண்ணாலே நம்ம லைஃப்ல வந்து ரொம்ப ரொம்ப ஹாப்பியா இருக்கலாம், ஒரு சக்சஸ்ஃபுல் பர்சனா இருக்கலாம். நம்ம என்னெல்லாம் ஆசைப்படுறோமோ அது எல்லாத்தையுமே நம்மளால அச்சீவ் பண்ண முடியும். அந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு கைடன்ஸ் இன்னைக்கு உங்களுடைய அவ்வளோ இன்ஃபர்மேஷன்ஸ். தேங்க்யூ சோ மச் மேம்.
I'm blessed. Thank you.
Okay.
So Shubhashri, Abhijit here. So my question is, firstly, amazing presentation. So with this topic, I have something to ask regarding this topic. So when a person is depressed and their self-esteem is low, maybe it may be due to physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse. So the initiation of the therapy is by increasing their self-esteem. So I personally use guided relaxation and make them take them to a relaxed state and inscribe or imbibe the.
Please come up. Yeah. I couldn't hear you. There is a block.
Ma'am, yeah, there's a signal problem with Abhijit, ma'am.
Yeah, so I inscribe that they are confident, they are worthwhile, they are worth it. So I make them feel that they are worthwhile. So another methodology that I suggest is to improve their self-confidence by self-affirmation. So that's what I do, and I'd like to hear from you, ma'am. What is the methodology that you use to increase self-confidence of your clients?
Fantastic. That's a most relevant question, Abhijit. Actually, if I have not gone in deep about the roots of where the self-doubt comes, or where you have been hampered or because of the self-worth or self-doubt kind of, because the very important aspect, the life experience only is the matters a lot, and the parenting style matters, the trauma, childhood trauma, any kind of abuse in that case, whether it is emotional or it is physical or it is something related life events or any kind of a trauma, bullying, harassment, humiliation, all these. And also maybe the societal cultural aspect of gendering, race or sexual orientation, all these may hamper or may create a kind of an impact or an influence on one's self-worth. This is obviously seen out of a lot of researchers. So we need to really understand the client first thoroughly. Is it a trauma attached to a childhood or anything or something? So first is foremost important. If you are going to give an therapy, we have to really understand, give the the first psychological first aid, and then move on, establish the rapport. Then you may choose according to the need of the particular client. If you choose the positive psychology approach, like there is a line, without disturbing this line, you wanted to put a bigger line to make this line small, no? That is positive psychology approach. You give a lot of positive intervention, keep on giving positive intervention, make this self-doubt or self-worth smaller, appears to be smaller. That could be possibly done based on your client's need only. You can design that. Or some of the clients need to be repaired or healed in that area of trauma, and then keep moving. So in most of the psychotherapy, we recommend this. So there is a lot of approaches, as you said, no? In CBT, we do stop-thought technique and self-affirmation, and do guided imagery or kind of. And in REBT, we dispute them with a lot of Socratic questions and make them understand their self-worth. And we also use a lot of technique, TA rescripting. We can do a lot of, how communication can be rebuilt with a rescripting to yourself also. And then a very important aspect, play and kind of a play therapy, or involving people in games and play that. I've seen psychodrama really helps for the people who are very, not overtly expressive kind of a person who can use psychodrama. It is really helping them to come out of that kind, because it is non-threatening. It is able to bring out the kind of an unconscious threats into surface by acting out in a very different roles, and also play a very safe role. So this is an healing part, and then only we can rebuild this. So based on the client's need only, we can actually tailor-made the intervention. We cannot prescribe any intervention for this is. It depends upon the client, number one. And then you can adapt any kind of in psychotherapy if you're a trained person. And relaxation, autogenic, yoga nidra, or even Jacobson muscle relaxation, or whatever you call it, or hypnotherapy. All these make an difference in the kind of a subconscious level. It can go and help them also. So if you are a trained person, you can really work on it to re-script themselves. Hope I have answered you, Abhijit.
Very much, Mrs. Subhasri. Thank you. Very much.
Very
Good
nice
evening, ma'am.
presentation, madam.
Hello.
Thank you so much.
As you've written there, no doubt it's a very good lecture.
Thank
And
you.
the
Thank
flow
you.
was real good. And
Thank
especially I like the story about the elephant and the lottery and the donkey
Okay.
and the real life case history of Bhakti Sharma.
Yeah.
They added beauty to it. Went
Thank
very
you.
well.
Thank
Good
you
job.
so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ma'am, thank you very much. Okay. I took 99.9% your class today as a very positive, and it is a very confidential one, okay, which gave me good courage also. But one question can I ask me?
Yeah, please.
While your presentation time, you use a word limitation. Okay, you are
Yes.
limited. You know your limitations. Okay, I got out in that particular word. In our houses, old houses, means still it is using that the word, particularly even from ladies, they are using their girl child. You know your limitation. They're not like a boy. Okay, so how you can explain that word limitation, please?
So if you ask me, that slide what I have shown, there is no limitation for me. I unless I say the limitation, only limitation I have not experienced so far. If I start experiencing that, I will come. There is, once you experience, fearless life is limitless. Abhina, I have given you a slide. If you have seen that, that means if you really start working on that, the limitations can be reduced a lot. See, there are some limitations. For example, I am born within the capacity of this. I cannot outgrow this. That has also been disproven. That has also been disproven by many of the people. Says that what you know about yourself is a very meager point of your brain. You never knew what you are capable of unless you do it. That has been proven by many theories. So the limitation is how we are fixing the boundaries for, you are a girl, you cannot go out, you cannot do this, you cannot pursue further, you cannot take into this career because you are a lady, You cannot stand all the days. There is no weaker section at all. Men and women have all the kind of, only some wiring is different in their brain. But the potential wise, they are capable. Look at this Olympic now. Who is leading now? Now give me an answer, folks. Who is getting a lot of medals?
Yeah. Okay, you mean the limitation? We have to take it in the positive. It's there is no limit. You mean sky is the limit, like that? Feelings we have to take.
There is no limitations unless you make. No, I have said another iron chains. Unless you wanted to keep yourself safe zone, you can experience limitless. Your experience can teach you that there is no limit for your learning, experience, or conquering something.
Okay.
So Buddha says, what do you think you become? What do you believe you become? So you can actually become what you. That's all Watson also says. When Watson says we all believe, but Buddha says we say that poor guy is talking religion.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening, Sandil.
How are you, ma'am? After long years, it's good to hear your guidance and lessons. Thank you.
I'm keeping
Thank
good.
you for organizers.
Thank you so
It's
much.
really time will not permit me to attend all the classes, ma'am. That's the thing. Today's session also very nice. I had attended earlier one session, Dr. Suresh sir sessions. This is the second session for me. I have only one doubt which I ask you to.
Okay.
Please, can you differentiate confidence and overconfidence?
Sure. That
Yeah,
is
please.
something everybody can be, I know. Everybody can really. So I know what I am capable of is something you are aware of yourself. So that comes from the confidence, isn't it?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
one thing is, I'll tell you, there are list of things I'll tell you as an example. I am well prepared for this. I know I can do this to my best. This is something called confidence.
Yeah.
I know
agree.
this material. I know this material so well. I am not going to even prepare. I can just go and tell. That is overconfident.
Overconfidence.
Okay,
Right.
I will do my best to connect with the audience. It is something
I think
confidence.
I think Mutaya sir want to interfere, ma'am.
One second.
Just two
I will
lines.
finish.
Yeah.
I'll finish 1 second. I will
Yes,
finish
ma'am.
1
Yes,
second.
ma'am.
I know that I am prepared and I will do my best to connect with my audience's confidence.
Yes, ma'am.
The audience are better lover. They will definitely listen to me. It is overconfidence.
It is overconfident.
I might not
Okay.
give up. I might not give up if there is any flaw also. I will learn from my mistake. I will continue to do my best. It is something confident. I am too perfect that I will never do a mistake. It is overconfident.
I understood, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm only rephrasing what Dr. Subhashri said.
Yes, sir.
Overconfidence is not only talk. Confidence is backed up by actions.
I agree. Thank you.
See, I am the best. I will do my best is something your confidence. I am the only best. I can only do the best. I can only do the best is something overconfidence.
Overconfident. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Take care.
Yes.
Participants, any other questions you can ask, ma'am?
The last most beautiful quote I would like to give it from Carl Roger. I think he has given the courage is something, the curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. The acceptance is the most beautiful things you can actually create change for yourself. There comes the confidence. So I dedicate this entire session to Albert Bandura, the most beautiful, one of the most beautiful researcher who has contributed a lot for the, the entire psychology, fraternity, and also he has contributed his Bubudol experience, his social learning theory, observation learning theory, and his approach for the therapy is most amazing thing which he has contributed. I really dedicate this entire presentation on the name of Albert Bandura with lots of, prayers.
What is the spelling, madam? Albert?
Albert Bandura.
Bandura. And I am told Albert Bandura expired a couple of days back, but then I searched in the net. There is no information about Albert Bandura's expiry there.
So it is actually given, the date also is given.
I do not know. Internet doesn't give any information. I went through the net.
There is, it is actually given, I got an intimation from IAAP messengers, and also our Hans Warner, you might be knowing. He is one of the experts who delivered in mental health webinar series. He has also given a note on Albert Bandura.
Internet doesn't say anything. That's it. I received message also about Bandura's expiry a couple of days back. But then I went through the net. Net doesn't say anything. Google doesn't say anything.
So actually, Professor Dr. Hans Warner Griezmann, he is a founder, a director of ICCPP. He has also given a note, so I think it is an authentic information.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a rocking session. How to improve our self-image. You beautifully explained. That is, appreciate yourself, accept yourself, and assure yourself. It was a wonderful session. Accept our gratitude on behalf of American College Madurai, MS Chellamuthu Institute Madurai, Madras School of Social Work Chennai, Red Pond Educational Research Center, Yellow Pond Counseling Center, then Tamil Nadu Career Counseling Association, Tamil Nadu Counselor and Psychotherapy Association. We thank you, ma'am. Thank you, participants. Yet
Thank you so
another
much.
session tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. With a lot of gratitude from the mental health webinar series and the core team member and also our brainchild, Dr. Suresh Kumar, and the entire team and the experts who have been traveling with us throughout. Without them, the fruitful session cannot be possible. And the most beautiful audience who have been supporting us right from the 2020 April 14th till now, they have been traveling, many of them. Thank you so much for your wonderful support. This moment has really helped a lot of people to make little difference in their life. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.